In a world that often celebrates social connectivity, networking, and teamwork, the idea of being alone is frequently misunderstood. For many, solitude is seen as isolation, a burden, or a sign of weakness. However, Miyamoto Musashi, the legendary Japanese swordsman, embraced solitude not as an unfortunate state, but as a source of immense strength and wisdom. Musashi's life is a masterclass in the power of being a loner, and his philosophy provides timeless insights for modern living. Musashi's understanding of solitude is articulated in two of his most famous works, Dokkodo, The Path of Walking Alone, and The Book of Five Rings. These writings not only outline his mastery of swordsmanship, but also offer principles for cultivating inner strength, clarity, and self-reliance. By delving into Musashi's teachings, we can explore how embracing solitude can lead to personal growth, self-mastery, and a deeper understanding of life. Dokkodo, The Path of Walking Alone. Toward the end of his life, the legendary swordsman Miyamoto Musashi wrote Dokkodo, The Way of Walking Alone. Although written centuries ago, Dokkodo holds timeless wisdom, especially in today's fast-paced, hyper-connected world. We live in a time where distractions abound, whether it's the endless scrolling on social media, the pressure to conform to societal expectations, or the lure of consumerism and instant gratification. Musashi's call to walk alone is more relevant than ever, as it reminds us to seek clarity, discipline, and self-reliance in the midst of noise and superficiality. The principles of Dokkodo encourage us to cultivate a mindset of independence, where our sense of worth, success, and happiness is not tied to external conditions, but comes from within. It challenges us to break free from the distractions of modern life and focus on what is truly important. In an age where busyness is often glorified and people are constantly striving to do more, be more, and achieve more, Musashi's wisdom offers a refreshing perspective. Slowing down, walking the path of solitude, and focusing on internal growth can lead to greater fulfillment than the endless chase for material success. Toward the end of his life, the legendary swordsman Miyamoto Musashi wrote Dokkodo, The Way of Walking Alone, a document comprising 21 succinct principles that encapsulate his philosophy of life. These principles serve as a guide for cultivating independence, resilience, and inner strength, reflecting Musashi's deep commitment to self-sufficiency and detachment from the superficial aspects of life. Dokkodo is not merely a reflection of Musashi's martial prowess, but a blueprint for how to live meaningfully. The core message of Dokkodo is the idea that true strength comes from within. Musashi believed that by embracing solitude, one could rise above the distractions, dependencies, and societal pressures that often prevent personal growth. His philosophy doesn't advocate for isolating oneself from others or retreating into a reclusive life. Rather, it encourages the development of an inner fortitude, cultivating a strong sense of self so that one's worth and happiness are not tied to external circumstances or the approval of others. The meaning behind walking alone. The idea of walking alone in Dokkodo is not a prescription for physical isolation, but for spiritual and mental independence. Musashi's path is one of self-mastery and inner discipline. In a world filled with constant distractions, temptations, and the never-ending pursuit of material wealth or social validation, Dokkodo encourages us to step back and reflect on what is truly important. Musashi's solitary path was not an easy one. He rejected many of the conventional comforts and pleasures that people seek. But for Musashi, walking alone wasn't about deprivation. It was about the freedom that comes from not being attached to fleeting desires. He understood that by severing these attachments, one can gain a clearer perspective and maintain focus on the deeper, more meaningful aspects of life. His emphasis on solitude teaches us that personal growth often comes from discomfort, struggle, and reflection. When we rely on others for our sense of self-worth, we limit our potential for growth. Musashi saw solitude as a crucible, a space where we can confront our weaknesses, fears, and insecurities. Only by walking alone, free from distractions, can we cultivate the mental clarity necessary to thrive. Embracing discomfort and purpose. One of the key tenets of Dokkodo is the importance of embracing discomfort. Musashi rejected the idea that pleasure or comfort should be the primary aim of life. He believed that constantly seeking comfort can lead to complacency, stagnation, and ultimately weakness. Instead, Musashi advocated for a life grounded in purpose, discipline, and meaning. Musashi's life was filled with hardship, from his numerous duels to his wandering life as a ronin, a masterless samurai. Yet these hardships only strengthened his resolve. He understood that pain, discomfort, and failure were integral to his growth. By embracing discomfort and stepping outside of our comfort zones, we push ourselves to new levels of personal and spiritual development. This approach to life is not about punishing oneself or denying the joy that life can bring. Instead, it's about cultivating resilience and fortitude by learning to accept and even welcome the inevitable struggles that come with the human experience. Discomfort, Musashi teaches us, is not something to be avoided, but something to be embraced as a tool for growth. Key principles of Dokkodo. Some of Musashi's principles in Dokkodo highlight the mindset necessary for walking this path of solitude. These include: do not seek pleasure for its own sake. Musashi warns against living a life driven by the pursuit of momentary pleasures. While pleasure is not inherently wrong, it can become a distraction that pulls us away from what truly matters. By focusing on deeper fulfillment rather than fleeting enjoyment, we can live more meaningful and disciplined lives. Accept everything just the way it is. This principle speaks to the Stoic-like acceptance of life's realities. Musashi understood that much of life is beyond our control. Rather than fighting against these uncontrollable aspects, he encourages us to accept them with grace. This doesn't mean passivity, it means aligning our efforts with what we can change and letting go of what we cannot. Do not be influenced by the feelings of others. In a world where social validation is often sought, Musashi's advice is a reminder to stay true to our own values. We must be careful not to let the opinions and emotions of others dictate our actions or self-worth. This principle is central to the idea of walking alone. It's about being internally guided rather than externally swayed. Each of these principles offers insight into Musashi's mindset, a combination of mental toughness, emotional resilience, and an unwavering commitment to a life of purpose. Musashi's detachment from worldly concerns allowed him to live authentically, focusing on what truly mattered: self-improvement, honor, and mastering his craft. One of Musashi's most profound teachings is the concept of self-mastery through solitude. Musashi's life as a wandering swordsman, free from the ties of social conformity and material comfort, allowed him to cultivate an unmatched discipline and resilience. This was no accident. For Musashi, solitude was essential for understanding oneself on a deeper level. It was in the quiet moments, away from the expectations and influences of others, that he confronted his own strengths, weaknesses, and aspirations. When we are alone without external distractions, we are forced to face ourselves. We are stripped of the comforting noise that often shields us from self-reflection. In solitude, we encounter our fears, anxieties, and hidden desires, and through this process, we gain the ability to control them. This is where true self-mastery begins. Musashi's journey wasn't just about mastering the sword, it was about mastering the mind and spirit. By embracing solitude, he developed the mental clarity and emotional resilience needed to face not only physical battles, but the inner battles we all must endure. In today's world, practicing solitude can serve as a form of mental training. When we choose to spend time alone, detached from social validation, digital media, and the pressures to perform, we give ourselves the chance to strengthen our inner fortitude. This inner strength is essential for withstanding the noise and chaos of modern life. Solitude fosters self-reliance, and with it, the confidence to walk through life guided by our own principles rather than the opinions of others. Clarity and focus. Through solitude. One of the greatest gifts of solitude is the clarity it offers. Musashi's ability to remain calm, focused, and strategic in the midst of battle was a direct result of his practice of solitude. Free from the distractions of the outside world, he was able to sharpen his mind, clear his thoughts, and approach each situation with unwavering precision. In today's fast-paced society, where we are constantly bombarded by information and noise, it can be challenging to find this kind of clarity. We are pulled in countless directions by work, social obligations, and the incessant hum of technology. This constant barrage can cloud our judgment, making it difficult to see what truly matters. Solitude, however, provides the space to step back, reflect, and refocus on our goals and priorities. Musashi's life teaches us that solitude allows us to see life more clearly, cutting away the unnecessary distractions that often lead us astray. By spending time alone, we can better understand our own thoughts, refine our values, and set our own course without being influenced by external pressures. This mental clarity enables us to make more intentional, thoughtful decisions, both in our personal and professional lives. In practice, this can be as simple as setting aside time each day for quiet reflection, journaling, or meditative practice. In these moments of solitude, we can evaluate our lives with a clear mind, free from the clutter of constant stimulation. By doing so, we are better equipped to navigate life with a sense of purpose and direction. One of the common misconceptions about solitude is that it leads to loneliness. Many people fear being alone, associating it with isolation and disconnection. However, Musashi's life offers a different perspective. Solitude, as he understood it, is not about retreating from the world or cutting off human connections. Instead, it is about developing a strong inner connection with oneself. In a fast-paced, interconnected world, Musashi's philosophy of solitude can help us slow down, reflect, and live more intentionally. By practicing solitude, we reclaim our time and attention, allowing us to live with greater purpose, clarity, and peace.